Happy Thursday, everybody.
Happy Thursday. Hope your midweek is going well. And the cold, we had a little bit of warmth and then a little bit of cold.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That was,
typical Chicago.
Yeah,
like,
50s and then 20s.
Man, stock up on your vitamin C. You know what I'm saying?
You know?
you
Go get an IV shot.
Man, I'm telling you.
Shot?
Can you? Yeah.
Vitamin shot.
Vitamin shot. Something.
There it is.
Protect yourself.
Take a ginger shot.
Yeah, something. Today we are doing, look at this shit, it's from Monday, still spilling over. Today we are throwing it back to West Garfield Park.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. This one was one of the first ones, probably the only one other than West Elston, where you were like, this didn't end
there isn't a positive ending.
Yeah, it's not a real good.
Yeah.
And not positive. We say not positive, not talking about like the people of it. It's just like we need resolution, goddammit.
Right. It's I feel like in this one you realize how much the city has failed the community.
Yeah.
And the lack of resources that are provided for the people that live there. It's visually visible.
What's crazy is that report card mural.
Yeah, that was very interesting to see.
I mean,
and I feel like it's such a powerful public piece of art that you can. Anyone that stops by can. It's kind of like a moment. You're like, damn. Like you can see that the community area looks like it needs the city help, but then you see that mural and you're like, shit. Like this is not great.
The positive thing about this, because this episode literally almost aired 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Almost, we're literally a month away from it being 3 years old. However, there has been some positive changes in these last. Yeah. So that's kind of probably one of our first major things on this podcast where we're like, damn, that it has changed over the last, not the first, but like y'all get what I'm saying. It's cool to see the growth and like the change happen and our podcast be something that we can document, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Use as a reference.
How things have changed.
Yeah. Without further ado, we're gonna get into it and get you set up. This episode originally aired January 10th, 2022. Enjoy. 77 Flavors. We back at it again.
Not on location.
In a location. In a location, but not on location.
Yeah.
This is weird. 77 Flavors. Let's get it.
This is the podcast where we visit all 77 of Chicago's historic neighborhoods and discuss their heritage and taste the amazing food.
And if you know anything about us, we love two things, food and Chicago, so I can't wait to burn this gas money.
You ready?
Let's get it.
This is the 77 Flavors of Chicago, the podcast.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another.
Who's everybody?
You come on now. Come on now.
Oh, like people listening.
Yeah. You know who everybody is.
Yeah, like we're on the radio.
Yeah.
What's going on?
You mean on our podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Come on. How you gonna forget the people? Man, appreciate y'all for joining in. Dario.
Sarah.
And we back again.
Welcome to our new flood in of listeners.
You mean new listeners?
Yeah.
You make that a little easier for yourself.
Our new listeners.
You said flooded. I think influx works there.
Influx?
Yeah, influx.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, because influx means
all I can think of is flux is like reflex, like heartburn.
No.
Nope. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I tried.
That's early.
Welcome.
Welcome.
We're so happy you found us.
Yeah, right.
We had a great week.
We did have a good little run right here.
Pretty good. First week of 2022.
2022. I mean, shout out to Block Club Chicago.
Yep.
And NBC for featuring us. And that kind of brought some new listeners. So thank you to the new listeners. Yeah. But man, that was really cool. Nice write up by Jake. Thank you, Jake, over at Block Club Chicago for writing about us and
if you keep listening, at some point we're going to have someone from Block Club on one of our episodes, so we're very excited.
Yes, I can't wait. We were actually on their podcast too.
Oh yeah, that
it's all good.
Will come out Thursday.
Yeah, timestamp. But
Thursday of this. If you're listening on Monday, it'll come out on Thursday. It's not a timestamp.
Kind of.
They don't know when we're recording.
That's true. That's very true.
If you're listening on Tuesday, it'll still come out on Thursday. If you're listening on Wednesday, it'll come out on Thursday. If you're listening on Friday, it came out Thursday.
Dang. So, okay. All right. Look at ma'am over here.
I'm just
getting busy.
A couple housekeeping things.
Housekeeping. All right.
I don't know. Is that I like when people say that.
Sure.
I had a manager that used to say.
I hate when managers say shit like that though.
Like housekeeping things, and it'd be something like
bullshit.
It would be things like you took PTO and you didn't add it to the calendar, so now no one knows that you're going to be off that week.
Right.
Or it would be like you didn't wash your cup from the sink.
Tell them to stop lacking.
Yeah. Or it'll be like I'm going to be out for 2 weeks on my paid vacation. Y'all figure it out. That was my manager. She would literally take off from, no joke, a week, like a couple days before Christmas, all the way into the new year. She'd be gone for 2 weeks. And no, and mind you, no more than one person out of each team was allowed to be off. So she was the only person that could be off on Christmas.
Yeah.
We worked Christmas Eve and we were off Christmas Day, obviously. But you couldn't take New Year's Eve. You couldn't take Christmas Eve. None of that.
Yeah.
She just...
Housekeeping.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Tangent.
Yeah. You feel a way about that. Shout out to Matt over at NBC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, Matt Rodriguez.
So fun. So we've done TV interviews before, but this was the first one where we were in studio.
We were in studio. Yeah. That was cool.
I feel spoiled.
I felt the way.
I want to say I'm never doing virtual interviews again,
right,
but I don't want to do that because we're still mid-pandemic.
Yeah.
I say mid.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
But
I got my papers.
I like how we say we were mid-pandemic, but we don't know where the middle
is.
Right,
we don't know where the middle is.
We said mid-pandemic in 2020, and it's...
Right, we
it wasn't mid.
It wasn't.
It wasn't mid.
Shit, at one point, we didn't even call it pandemic. We was just like, this is just a little break.
Little 2-week vacation.
We'll figure it out.
Work from home.
Now.
I was like one of the quote-unquote essential workers that did not work from home. Obviously, you know that because you were in my life at that point. And I went to a warehouse every day.
Sarah's out here working hard during the pandemic.
Yeah, and I got sick because they didn't give a shit about us.
Yeah.
But now I've upgraded to working from home.
There you go.
15 pounds later, here we are.
Anyway.
We got this...
you on Tangent City today.
Well, I know.
You just shout out NBC and Matt Rodriguez.
I feel like I'm excited I'm excited to record this week.
Yeah, we got a lot of good information this week.
If you're watching on YouTube, we also have our sign up again.
Hey, shout out to hold on, where's my air horn? Yeah. There you go.
Isn't it so cute?
It is. It's very nice. We put a lot of work into that, too. I think that's why it took us, 3 hours to make this?
Yeah.
3 hours, y'all, to make this. I mean, it's dope. I love it. I love it.
Never doing it again. No.
I would do it. I would do it again. I would do it again. But we got to pay for it. If somebody else wanted one, it's going to be at least $50 an hour. I'm just playing. No, not
at least. Shit, they charge like $250 for
That's why we made our own. Because we were like, we ain't paying that price.
I was like, these lights are $11 on Amazon.
Yeah.
And the board was $9 from Home
big
Depot.
thanks, y'all. Look, I don't know how y'all feel about Amazon, but I'm just saying we got these 3 lights off Amazon. This little board. $10.
Yeah.
$10 over at Menards.
Oh, Menards.
Menards, yeah. $10 at Menards.
The glue was like $3.
It's $3. Gorilla Glue. Shout out to Gorilla Glue. No hair usage.
Batteries.
Got some batteries.
I said no hair usage.
Yeah, look, we got to tell people nowadays.
That was a spray Gorilla Glue.
Well, whatever. Just don't put no glue in your goddamn hair. I mean, you got to be grown and tell people these things.
I feel like everybody knows that at this point.
Nah, look, shit, at this point. But back in 2021, was that 2020?
Oh, it was 21.
It was
2021.
No, but she came up in 2021.
Yeah, that's when she did it. She glued her hair in 2021.
Early. It had to be early in the year, was it?
It was like 2020. Over the summer.
Man, no, I think she did that 2020. Somebody let us know, man.
It was 2021.
By the time y'all tell us, we're going to figure it out already.
I saw it on how they do like a calendar of what happened every single month. I think she did it in like April or May.
Did she? Wow.
Shit. I think so.
That had to be one of the I mean, I'm glad she's safe, but that had to be one of the dumbest things. Anyway, it's not about her. We had a fun little time, man. Had a fun little time. Yeah. How you feeling?
I got 2 emotional water bottles today.
Well, hold on. You got 2. You do got 2 emotional water bottles.
Yeah.
First of all,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to tell you what's in the yellow one. If you're watching on YouTube, this is a new
What's the black shit in it?
Black pepper. But let me tell you what's in it.
Black pepper?
Well, here, listen, hear me out, first of all, before you shit on this. It is the juice of one lemon.
That's one lemon?
Hold on. The juice of one lemon. The rest is water, dude.
Oh, I was about to say that's one juicy-ass lemon. Shit.
It's not a 1 liter. No.
Okay. Okay. Shit.
It's the juice of one lemon, like a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a little bit of black pepper, and honey.
What the hell is that supposed to be? What is it for?
Turmeric is like really good for you if you're for like your digestion and stuff. I don't know. It has a lot of benefits. I've been drinking it my whole life. I don't know. It's like a cultural thing.
Okay, cool.
I don't know I know it has a lot of benefits. I don't know if consuming it in this form is beneficial. But you see, like sometimes I make that hot milk, like hot almond milk or oat milk with turmeric in it. It's like a yellow.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't see what you make. And y'all, just give you some context. We ain't did grocery shopping. We grocery shop today.
I like how you say we grocery shop
Sarah
today.
grocery shop today.
Thank you very much.
First
of all.
And, we didn't have nothing in the refrigerator for a little bit, right? We eat out all the time, so we
had things. You just didn't see them.
Y'all, let me tell you, when I opened the refrigerator, there was not a goddamn thing in that refrigerator. When Sarah opened that refrigerator, she made a whole ass pizza.
Yeah.
I don't know how she made a pizza out of, like, I swear, if it was like a test and be like, make something out of what you see in here, I'd be like, you know what? Give me my F proudly.
Here's why. Because when you open it, you see nothing that's already prepared. Yeah. I open it and I see individual ingredients that I could combine to make something, which is called cooking. Okay.
First of all,
if you're not familiar.
Y'all, don't let her play you. She look, the shit that she done made. She made her own cheese, didn't you? Some shit like that.
I made pizza dough because we had
right. So the dough wasn't in the refrigerator. You had to make it.
Right. I made the dough.
I don't know how to do that.
And the dough that I made a dough that I split into two things. One was like a breakfast item, and which is menaish, and it's za'atar and olive oil on top of this bread, right? So it's literally flour, salt, yeast, water.
Okay. I mean,
and sugar. That's it.
Shout out to the cooks out there because
all those ingredients were available. I made a tomato sauce, which was I honestly made a super basic tomato sauce, which was 1 onion, cherry tomatoes, seasoning, olive oil, and garlic. Okay. Super easy. And we had cheese, and then we had some lunch meat that I just threw on the pizza. Right.
And I'm up here, my ass eating and talking about, man, these some good pepperonis. Where we get pepperonis from? She said, it's pastrami. I was like, wow. Okay. Because this is a very good substitute.
It's just different ways to prepare the meat. But
let me tell you, kudos to you, because I would have looked in that refrigerator and starved halfway to death.
That's facts.
Yeah, because I mean, like,
you would have just had a peanut butter and jelly.
Sure did, y'all. I love peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah,
I love peanut butter and jelly.
Eat peanut butter and jelly every single day.
Sure could. I had 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches yesterday.
Yeah,
and let me tell you,
that
even
like
spread
cartoon.
No, I did
stack of sandwiches. You know how like they look.
Yeah, they were kind of stackable. I did when you had 2 pieces, 2 sandwiches on top of each other. Yeah, they look. Shout out to all the people that love peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I can eat peanut butter and jelly sandwich all day, every day.
Yeah, I believe that, but very specific way. Very specific peanut butter, very specific jelly.
Jiffy, all the time. Yep. Jiffy or Skippy. Yep. Give me the Skippy first.
Right.
And then give me the Concord. You know what I'm saying? Give me the Concord. Great. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, give me that. I don't care if it's jelly or jam. Shit, it's spread.
That's what she said.
I mean, like, long as I get it even on there, let me tell you.
Okay, well, next time I just won't make dough from scratch and I let you have peanut butter.
Yeah, then talking to me like I should have known. I didn't.
I mean, no.
I ain't had no clue. I would have. Anyway, enough of that. Y'all just basically know. I can't think at this point people know I can't make food worth a damn. But it's okay.
You did cook one time.
I did.
You made
it slapped.
Steak.
It slapped, y'all.
And you made broccoli and cheese.
Mm-hmm. Your boy was on the grill.
You made jambalaya one.
Made jambalaya. Talk to the people. Let them know. I do this when I want to.
So, beginning of the pandemic, Dario and I used to do like in-home date nights, like at home, because obviously we couldn't go out. And we would rotate every weekend. One of us will do like an at-home date night. Mm-hmm. We did stuff like we did a sip and paint at home.
Yeah, we had the tapas.
Yeah, we had tapas on the roof.
We was doing that thing.
What else? We did vision boards.
We did, and that vision board so y'all. So we made the vision board. We should take a picture of this and show them. Mm-hmm. We made a vision board, and on my vision board, I put good vibes.
Yeah.
And this was
May 2020.
May 2020. I put good vibes as the center. They had shit branching out.
Yep.
A whole year later, not even a year later, I had a show called Good Vibes at Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Yeah, very crazy how we manifested that. That's a little rundown on us. You ready to get busy with this?
Yeah, I'm actually.
Yeah, we got something to talk about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got something to talk about it. You ready about it?
I'm ready.
Y'all, the people listening, let's get ready. Let's get in tune.
Get your emotional support water bottle.
Yeah, here we go. Emotional support water bottle. I still don't believe it too. I believe it. It is real. It is real. It is. It is real. I mean, it's just I never heard it in those terms. For those of you that don't know, we are doing the.
None of them know.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's in the title, so they should know.
Oh, that's right.
They should know.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. Now that I think about it, no. Both of us.
No, I was talking about the listeners. But
Damn, stop it. Stop.
Also me.
also us for not knowing. Anyway, West Garfield Park, community area number 26. Mm-hmm. And let me just preface this for y'all, man. Let me just tell you this one. We love Chicago dearly, truly. We typically have a lot of fun with telling the history and telling the story. But not every story is always going to be the roses and the good outcome. And this one is not a bad thing, but it's a truth. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we're going to tell you that first. I'm going to go through the history, and then we're going to have some conversation about this because it's a reality of Chicago. It's a reality of America.
Right.
And this is why we do 77 Flavors of Chicago, shed some light on the history.
Right.
And as well as talk about the food, but the history is part of the show too. So,
before we go into two things. One, you don't criticize a place that you don't love. If you didn't love it, you would just leave it alone and let it be. So to criticize a community or to criticize a government or to criticize a country, that means you love it and you care enough about it. Number two, when we do these stories, when we talk about the history, this is not the end of the story, right? Obviously,
yeah,
this is not the last point. This is just where we are up until
currently.
This point.
Yeah, and that's perfect. That's perfect because I think every one of the community areas we've done so far kind of had an ending. You know what I mean? So to say, they all continue, of course,
right.
But like they had and that's where we are right now, and that's the ending. This one is open. You know what I mean? Open for discussion. So here we go. Prior to 1873, it was farmlands, like everything here in Chicago. And also, I did not go over the boundaries because the boundaries literally is a paragraph long.
Really?
Yes, it is. It's a lot of boundaries.
It's a weird shape.
Yeah.
Community area.
Yeah, very weird shape. But prior to 1873, it was farmlands, and this was an area that was kind of like a through pass. A lot of people that were on trails and things like that kind of went through this, and they to move further west and go in that direction. So this wasn't like a settlement place. It wasn't until West Chicago Park Commission, established 3 parks. One of the 3 parks was named Central Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, named Central Park. And as we all know, railways around that time was huge in the city for not just city, but in America at that time to develop and grow. Before the waterways kind of did the thing, railroads for the transportation, and railroads allowed for shops and urbanization to happen around Central Park. And because of that urbanization and because of the population that was there, it became a village, and the village of Central Park. So it was a village right around 73, and in 1881. It was renamed. It was renamed.
Wow.
What the hell? Why did I read it like that?
You just had a little brain fart.
I did. Y'all, I'm sorry. 1881, it was renamed to Garfield Park. after the assassination of President Garfield.
Yep.
So that's where the name Garfield Park comes from.
Yep.
The makeup.
Also, if you didn't know there was a president named Garfield, that's totally fine.
Not Garfield,
I didn't,
not the cat, but Garfield, the human.
Human.
The human. The human. The makeup was many Scandinavians and Irish, white. Let's call it what it is. It's what it is, because this next part is where we get real. This is where it gets real here in the story of West Garfield Park. So let's just jump straight to the 1950s. Okay, we're gonna jump to the 1950s to the 70s. In the 50s, it was a fear that everything that the neighborhood had worked for, being white, predominantly white at the time, would change. And would change the area. In 1959, check this out. This is a very specific situation here. In 1959, there was a black family that bought a home on the block of 4300 Jackson, right? And the white homeowners formed the United Property Group, which disallowed sales to black people immediately after that happened. Okay. Yeah. So, obviously there was another group that fought against that and said, hey, that's not right. Because, blacks migrated from, the South to come to the North. And this was one of the settlement places we told you about the 6 million, the great migration of blacks. And this was part of it. And, so we had a force working for the people to say, hey, look, no, that's not right. Well, white flight happened, and if we've talked about white flight here many times, and white flight is when literally white folks said, "Hey, we moving out." They just left their stuff right where it is, homes, everything, furniture still in it, like we said, and they got up out of there, right? And that was in 1959. In the 60s, blacks just continued to move in, right? Just continued to move in. Now, here's something interesting. This was also, if we remember the story we told about Gage Park. About how it became integrated in 72 and all the riots through Marquette Park that flowed over to the Chicago lawn area. Martin Luther King lived in North Lawndale. We'll expound on that again. This is going to be a little this is going to be a little throwback for y'all when we get to North Lawndale at some point, because I'm telling an answer already, but yes, Martin Luther King did, in fact, live in North Lawndale. And when he lived in North Lawndale, he was here to kind of talk about the housing situation, how blacks couldn't afford they didn't want blacks to live.
I just want you could you just remind people that are listening, what year was this?
This is in the 60s and the 70s. 60s
and the 70s.
Yeah, so not long ago.
Some of you might have been alive.
Yeah, right. And this is the story of Chicago, right? This is the story of Chicago. But the reason why I bring up Martin Luther King, because he was here, living here, and trying to fight it. He said that the racism and the economic divide here in Chicago was the worst he'd ever seen it. In America.
I think you mentioned that during the
I might have
the Douglas episode.
Probably Gage Park.
Gage Park.
Probably Gage Park is one I would probably mention it in. But unreal to me. That, like this is one of the areas that really, really were hit hard by, the racial differences,
it's not
at the
unreal.
time. It's not unreal. Of course,
Because
I think people know what I mean.
To this day, a lot of the city remains, whether you view it this way or not, remains segregated.
Right. Chicago is one of the most segregated. We know that Chicago is one of the most segregated cities. But this was one that's is very tough, because as we know, this story is an open-ended, because right now, this West Garfield Park is still in such a tough position, societally and economically, and it hasn't really recovered, right? It really hasn't recovered. Not that it hasn't recovered, it just there's no attention brought to it, which leads us to something that we watched in preparation for this episode. There's a documentary.
If you're watching on YouTube, I'm sorry that I'm on my phone, but I took notes on my phone.
Yes,
so just deal with it.
Yeah, it's just deal with it. But
I swear, see, notes.
I gotta zoom in.
I'm not scrolling on Instagram.
yeah. She's not tired of me talking.
No. Well, before we start talking about this, I feel like I need to kind of disclaim something.
What?
Well, because like obviously I'm not Black. If you've seen any of our social media, if you've heard any of the podcasts, you know I grew up in Jordan, right? And I sometimes I feel very passionately about certain things, and then I feel kind of like, do I have the right to be this passionate? But it reminds me so much of where I grew up and the issues that we faced, and only because, so my parents, both children of refugees, Palestinian refugees. Dario is scrolling Instagram. If you're looking.
I am not actually. I'm getting my notes ready because I have additional screenshot underneath the reference.
But like my parents are children of refugees, or my dad was a refugee. My dad's family continues to live in refugee camps, right? And treated very similarly, and maybe to a certain extent, very similarly to minorities in the United States. There's a lot of them live with no running water. There's no education, no healthcare, no rights. You can't buy land if you're Palestinian. You can't work certain jobs. You can't do any of that. So I just want to say that even though I have not had the exact same experience as being Black in America, because that is a very unique experience, the passion that I have comes from the fact that I lived in a society where the racial group that I belong to faced similar kind of dilemmas. And also, I'm an Arab in America. So that is another kind of
similarity.
Well, another viewpoint.
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? Again, not the same struggles for sure, but I can relate.
Right. And so
I if I say anything that seems like too passionate or
I
just want. I know, but you say that because you know me, but a lot of people, you might not know me. If
but I think at the end of the day, all people should have this kind of passion for everything.
Agree.
So to me, I appreciate your disclaimer. I think a lot of people appreciate the disclaimer, but we're human. You know what I mean? We're human. We should not be disclaiming human rights.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's where I stand on that. Going forward, we watched this. There's this mural on the side of the Next Cuts board wall on Madison, Madison right there, and it outlines what's called the report card. And there's this
brick report card project.
Yep, the bricks this report card project, and it outlines where West Garfield Park stands economically with different metrics compared to other places. Mm-hmm. And I just want to read off a couple things. Do you want to read it?
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll read off a couple things. So life expectancy in West Garfield Park is 69 years compared to near North Side at 82 years. Now, this is a picture just taken from today, and they update this every time there is a new political change,
right?
And reports out.
And every new census. So this is the most up-to-date census results.
Medium household income, 25,000 compared to Winnetka, 221,000. High school graduation rate, 72%. Oak Park, 96%. Households in poverty, 42%. Naperville, 4%. Median home value, 165,000. Lincoln Park, 600,000 roughly. And those are the numbers that are on that board. I'll have this picture up there that you can look at. And if that don't shake you, I mean, just looking at as soon as we got out, going to Jerk 48, which is adjacent, to the building in that same building, I just stopped immediately, went back, got my camera, and was like, "This is out of control."
Yep.
And we saw a documentary, and like I said, in preparation for this, that really, really outlines the same thought process. A lot of people, they look at this mural and they just stand there.
Yeah. Well, the documentary is surrounding the creation of this mural. Mm-hmm. And the documentary is called We Witness.
Yes.
We'll have the link for it in the description of this episode and then on our Instagram page that you can check it out. It's like 54 minutes. Definitely worth a watch.
Definitely worth it.
If you have no idea, if you've never been to West Garfield and you don't know what's going on or how you can help or what you can do, or if you want more information, definitely a great documentary to watch.
Right. What's some takeaways that you got from the documentary?
God. I think even before we watched the documentary, and this was again mentioned in it, it's really hard to feel despair. It's really easy to feel despair when you're in a neighborhood like West Garfield, because it feels like there is no solution, right? But that is not true. I think the most important thing is to feel hopeful, because there are solutions. We know what those solutions are. We just need to hire the people, and by hire I mean vote for the people that are going to use those solutions, that are going to utilize their knowledge and their connections and their funding to make those solutions happen. And we can talk more about what we think those solutions are and what the documentary or research has stated. But I think what it boils down to is education, meeting basic human needs, creating jobs, right? And for the city to actually give a shit about
pretty much
community area like West Garfield.
Yeah, and I think the We Witness is done by Rochereau Beck. I hope that I'm pronouncing that right. But I think when I look at this documentary, and when I think about the information that I learned in the research I did, you immediately think that, man, that's sad. You know what I'm saying? You think it's sad.
Yeah.
But after watching the documentary, I don't feel sad. Right. I feel activated. I feel like I feel like I want to get activated because, and this is directly from the documentary, hope is a huge thing. Yep. People have a lot of hope and they have a lot of faith. In that community, the people are not down on themselves at all. You know what I mean? So this ain't no feel bad for us type of thing. This is a documentary. This is a community that is literally like, how do we now? Yeah. We got hope to survive. They can survive anything. Right. You know what I mean? And they have a very strong foundation in their faith in God, with churches and community. Yeah. And that really just made me feel so good, because I know a lot of people will never gone to this West Side or the South Side and experience this. And the beautiful thing that we can do, I'm from the South Side of Chicago. I've been on the West Side, so I know. But the cool thing is that we can go to these neighborhoods, bring our equipment, and feel part of it, and we see it firsthand. And we talk to the people. Chanel over at Jerk 48, who served us. She was so upbeat. You know what I'm saying? So upbeat and happy. And watching that documentary, you see the people. Yeah. They upbeat. They happy. Yeah. So it ain't no woe is me type of mentality. Right. It's a please fix this. Y'all see this problem. Yeah. Come do something about it.
Yeah. I think also what is always people tend to forget, and the criticism usually comes is like, well, why don't they just, do better themselves? Why doesn't the community come together and create from within? Which I'm behind that message. The community knows what it needs. But if you are constantly worried about feeding your children, paying your rent, making sure your heat and your water is still running, making sure you can make your car payments even if you can afford a car, you do not afford the luxury of sitting there and thinking about community organization. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that is like the one thing that it kind of like makes me a little bit angry when people are saying, well, they can invest from within their community. Their church can invest, which I agree. But
it's hard to move when you're already 3 steps behind.
You're more than 3 steps
way more. You know what I mean? It's hard to do.
Yeah. I mean,
one of the coolest things in the documentary is there's a lot of ideas, but there's a lot of transparency around. We just ain't got the money to do it. You know what I mean? Ro, the guy that was in the barbershop, and I don't want to spoil too much of it for you, but Ro, he's a barber at the barbershop. Not Ro, there's another guy. But he said, hey, look, there's a bunch of lots that are open. People love getting their hair done, salons and barbershops. But there's a lot of vacant spots. Why don't we he said, there's spots big enough that you can put a barber school, salon school, cosmetology school there, provide people opportunity to do something that they do love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's available.
Right.
They know what to be done, but it's not their fault. You know what I mean? Like, is what we've been taught, and part of it is vote, like you said.
Yeah.
A lot of people need to be educated on why they need to vote,
right,
who they need to vote for, and who they need to vote against.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So all that stems from lack of knowledge. We already know how it is with black people when it comes to voting. You know what I'm saying? It's just not something that we do.
And it's not something that we do. It's more of like
we're not taught to do.
You don't have the time to think about that. If you have to take a day off work to go vote,
time is money.
You're not going to take the day off work to go vote because that means you're not getting paid that day.
I got to survive. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I work for a company that allows me to, I have the luxury to be like, I'm going voting. I'll come in at like 12.
Mm-hmm.
And my manager would be like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm a salaried employee. Most people in these communities are hourly employee, not even making minimum wage. And for you to ask them, well, you need to go out and vote.
Right.
But one, they need to understand the importance of voting. And two, their elected officials need to do the task of getting them to the voting booth, right? If you are a person that was campaigning, you won, and do not pass these laws that restrict people from voting. I feel like I'm not being as articulate as I want to be.
I think people get the picture.
Yeah, like how many? The documentary mentions how many laws have been passed that have stopped people from getting
from January to
voting.
From January last year, 2021, to July of 2021, there was several different laws passed that hindered
it was like 18
people's voting.
states.
Yeah, it's
passed
ridiculous.
30 laws to stop people from voting.
Yeah. Another made glaring bit of information. There's this documentary is so dope because it just puts the information right in your face. It's nothing, if this is hard to listen to, hey man, it's just reality. You know what I mean? But another thing that stuck out to me amongst the many, $4 billion were taken from blacks that could have been invested in housing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like just housing.
Yeah.
And we make up a third of America, but yet we have 87% of unemployment.
I know, I wrote that down.
I mean, like when you think, like we can't even afford these houses because we damn near not even employed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We ain't got no job to pay for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
so
those lack of jobs come from lack of education and lack of, not everyone wants to go to 4-year college.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Shit,
there could be trade schools.
Yeah.
Those are the essential jobs that we talk about now in like pandemic and post-pandemic times, is that these are the essential jobs that kept the economy going.
Right.
When most people worked from home, the people that did not work from home are minorities.
Right. That
continue to keep the economy going.
Right. It's amazing. And when you talk about school, they had a stat there that also said, the black person is going to start out $25,000 in debt before a white person does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like we can keep on going through the stats.
Yeah.
I think you all get it. Definitely watch the documentary. The mural, I want to give credit to the mural. The mural is done by a guy named Zeb, Z-E-B. Mm-hmm. He was the guy that started the mural, and this is the first, I believe they said, the first of a few mural report cards that are going to be popping up around the city, apparently.
Right.
So something to look at. And I want to land home the message, just like how they landed home the message in the documentary. Hope and belief in their God is what is keeping West Garfield Park going strong, y'all. And I'm telling you, if you go over there and I got to say it with my chest out, man. Like there's a lot of people that won't go into the South Side, they won't go to the West Side because they scared. They talk about the violence that they hear on the news. And yes, West Garfield Park has had some bad runs with the violence and gang activity and things like that. But one thing you can't take from the people, from us walking in there, watching that documentary and being in West Garfield, is that it's not a scary place. It's a place that needs attention, from people that have the options that they don't have.
Right.
And so hope and church, y'all, we need to visit these places. This is 77 Flavors of Chicago, man. I love this. I love what this podcast is, and I love every bit of Chicago. And this is just one we need to. This is These are brothers and sisters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As a city, we need to do.
Yeah.
We need to do something.
My mom's favorite like analogy in life was that the family is like a human body. If one part is struggling, the whole body will be sick. And I feel like that is also applicable to a city or a company or whatever it is. Any kind of organization that has multiple moving parts. If any part is sick, then the whole thing is sick.
Yeah.
And Chicago will not be at 100% of what it can do unless we take care of all of these parts, all of these moving parts that need our attention. And again, by attention, I don't mean like go open a Mariano's.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Because if the median household income is $20,000, you're not shopping up. You're not going to be able to shop at Mariano's.
Right, you're not doing.
You know what I mean? But it's like it's recognizing that there are things that we can work on. From within the community, there are things that your elected officials can work on that you should be calling it on your aldermans. You should be calling on the city to kind of, apply pressure.
Yeah, apply pressure.
Which is a luxury. To take time out of your day to even think about that is a luxury. But, that's why these organizations exist, to kind of do that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean... Yeah, so this is what we said. This one is kind of like an open book because this story is not done. And I'm telling you, Chicago is the greatest city in the world. And a story like this could be the greatest story in the world. We figure this thing out and get not just West Garfield Park, but all parts of the West Side and the South Side, and get these things taken care of, these issues, these big issues addressed the right way. And Chicago. That when the fire happened.
For some reason, I knew you were going to say
I know. From October, I was going to say, from October 8th to the 10th, in 1871, the first thing that Chicago Tribune said was, Chicago shall rise again. And if there's any bit of encouragement there, I know we can figure this thing out. It's not just West Garfield Park. I know we only at this is episode 32. So we got a whole bunch more. We almost halfway, but we got more communities that we probably gonna discover similar stories, and we've already discovered similar stories. This one is probably the most at this point dramatic one, I would say, that we've done. But shout out to citybricksproject.com, the report card project. Rosho Beck, I hope I'm getting the name right. Zeb for making the mural. Everybody involved with that documentary. And I'm telling you.
If you're looking for a way that you can make this better, or you can help, or just spreading awareness, watch this documentary. Send this documentary to other people.
It ain't for the faint of heart, y'all.
It's not.
That documentary gonna make you feel away.
It's not disparaging. You know what I mean?
It's not.
You don't feel despair at the end of it. You feel hope, and that is the point.
That's the point of it.
You need to feel hope. You need to know that there are solutions. It's just for the people to implement the solutions, and by people, I usually mean the government and your elected officials. But.
Yeah. To the people of West Garfield Park, we stand with you. We're gonna figure this thing out as a city.
New Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed that episode, please check out all of our other episodes. And if you did not love this one, that's all right. Come back Monday for a brand new episode. We'll see you then. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we hope you loved it.
And if you could, please follow us on social media at 77 Flavors Shy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter.
If you have any ideas or deep dives that you'd love us to do, please contact us at media@77flavorsshy. That's the number 77 flavors and shy for Chicago.com.
If you like visuals, please subscribe and follow and watch us on our YouTube channel at the same thing, 77 Flavors Shy, or search 77 Flavors of Chicago.
If you would like to support us monetarily, go ahead and click that Buzzsprout link in the description of this episode.
And as always, we gonna see you next week. Peace.